In this video, I'm going to talk about a new feature within Microsoft Power Automate supported by Copilot. I have two environments over here. Now, the first environment is Girish Dev, and in the second tab, I have another environment called as Girish Uppal's environment. Okay. Now, I've opened two different environments, and if I go into the home page looks a bit different. Okay, so let me open it side by side, and I'll show you how it looks. Yeah. So both the environment looks a bit different in the home page. Now in one we have the Copilot functionality, in another we do not have directly. Uh, Now why? Because this environment is built in the preview region, which is US preview region, and I have those functionality enabled. So I'll not go in much depth about how to enable it, but I'll just show you the differences. Okay. Now in the homepage, you can directly describe the flow which you want to build, and you can create that flow. Uh, if I click on create on the environment where my Copilot is enabled, I can see one new option called as describe it to design it preview. And if I click on create in the environment where like the Copilot is not directly enabled, now I don't see that option to build a flow. Okay, so that's one of the finding. The second thing is, I have created some sample flows, okay, in both the environments. Now if I click on this three meatball icons, I get an option to edit this flow in an AI powered editing, which is in a preview. And if I go into the old one, I don't see any other options apart from the normal classic interface. Okay, so these are some of the functionalities which is there in the environment which has Copilot, Power Automate editing experience enabled. Okay, let's start by building a flow. Okay, now new flow, I see a new option, describe it to design it preview. Here, I don't see that. So let me go ahead and click and build some flow. Okay. So, and now let me maximize this. Yeah. Now the first step, it will ask you, what will your flow do? Okay. Now I can give all the suggested examples over here, or maybe I can type in my own. I'll say, send email every month. Okay, let's see if it builds anything out of it. I click on submit. Yes, it has suggested us that the trigger would be a recurrence and the action would be sending an email. So this is a basic and a simple example. If this isn't what you're looking for, you can click on this, okay, and can provide a feedback. Or if you're happy with this, you can just click on next. Or alternatively, you can change your mind and you can put another prompt and then click on submit. Okay, I'm happy with this. I'll click on next. Now in the screen, it will allow you to set up some connections. Okay, now the connection for us for the action would be for an Outlook to send an email. So it will set up those connection. It will pick up all those connection. If you want to switch account, you can do it from here. Uh, on the right hand side, it will show you how the flow might look like. Okay, and I'll just click on next. Now here you need to finalize the flow. Now this is optional, but you need to specify something so that an email is sent. I will put my name, and in the subject I'll say this is first Copilot flow example. Okay, so I'm technically done with setting up the flow. Okay, so I haven't gone into the Power Automate interface and created a flow, but then I just used AI powered interface. Now, the moment I create a flow, see the interface. Now, this interface looks completely different than what we had for a classic flow creation interface. Okay, now in the classic interface, it looks a bit different. Now, on the right hand side, you will see an option of Copilot. You can turn that off by clicking on Copilot. If you turn it on, it comes back. Now here, you can manually go ahead and insert a new step. Or maybe you can say, um, type in some prompt. Okay, so if I type in a prompt, say create file in OneDrive, let's see what happens. And I click on submit. Then it will start working on it, and it will say, okay, it will add this button and create a file. Okay, now the the action what it has seen is that if someone clicks on the button, then a file gets created in OneDrive, so it has assumed that flow. Okay, now if you're happy with it, you can just click on like or dislike so that those feedback gets registered in backend system. Okay, now like this you can type in your prompt, and then make this flow uh, designed. Okay, now here you can zoom in, zoom out, can fit in the view, and you can toggle the minimap. Okay, so from the here, so this flow is a bit small, but if the flow is big, then you can toggle those minimap. Okay, so let me fit this up. Okay, now here in each of the action, I can click on it, and all the structured get the file structure of that action is properly, like structured as per the tabs. So it is not a bit clunky like what we have in an existing interface. So I have categorization of parameters, settings, code view, testing, about. All these things are neatly structured, and it is further structured in a hierarchical way. Okay, so it looks pretty much decent, and I can collapse and expand it. I can add more action. Okay, so if I click on add an action, now even this interface is bit different. So I can search, say, for Dataverse and say what I want. I want an action or a trigger. I can only add an action as of now. And within Dataverse, let's say I click on add a new row. The moment I add a new row, it will give me a good interface, and I can start selecting the table. Maybe let me select this table. I can put something name, say, and I can pass in the parameter as well. Okay. Now this is how you use the new interface. I'll not go in much depth on this because this is again a preview feature, and I would encourage everyone to start using it. Make use of the prompts, make use of the copilot to build this flow. Okay, now let me show you how we can open it again. Okay, so in an AI powered design view, so take for example, if you are in an environment, so now this environment does not have the copilot, so I'll go into the environment which has a copilot in it, click on my flows, and if I open an existing flow, now if I select here and I say edit. Okay, now this is the environment uh, which has this flow created. Now see how the old interface looks like. If you want to do something, if you click on this meatball icon, then you need to go into each and every action, right? Now in this interface, in the newer interface, it is all structured. See, parameters, settings, code view, testing, about. And in the old interface, you need to manually go into each and every option. Like if you want to go into the settings, it will give you this old classical interface. Now in the new uh, system, it will properly structure it so that you can, structure your flow and select specific actions with parameters all defined intuitively, very nicely. So that's it, folks. I'd say that, try out this new options. If it is not enabled in your tenant, do try enabling it at a tenant level, at a environment level. Make those settings, enable the preview feature, and play around with this new interface. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.